Hello everyone, this is General Hand Grenade. Welcome to my war room in Prince George, British Columbia. In this video, we are going to be taking a look at the Pacific Coalition in the game Global War 2025 Meltdown. So what we're looking at here is the yellow guys, that's Pacific Coalition. And that's a coalition of Southern Pacific and Japan basically. Doesn't include China. China's one of the bad guys in this game. So you're looking at India there, and that's where their big stronghold is in India. But as you can see, they're surrounded. The Chinese are more powerful than them, and also the Caliphate is on the other side of them, right? That's the black guys over there. So they're surrounded. They've had more than that though. Like they've got a guy down here in South Africa and a frigate up there. And they've got a guy in a frigate down here in Australia. And that guy there, those two guys in those boats there are probably going to be gone in the first round. That's Japan. And then you got a couple boats there. And it looks like you're pretty weak there. But if you take a look at these two territories here, this is the Korean Peninsula. So you're going to have units in here, and you're going to have units in Taiwan here. So let's take a look at those right now. And here's your guys in Korea. So there's quite a bit there. Plus there's an American there as well to help you out. And this is Taiwan over here. Nice little blow up boxes just to help you out here. Oh, there's that chip. I was looking for that earlier. That doesn't go there. That goes in Israel. Anyway, that's what it looks like there. So let's take a look at your dashboard for the Pacific Coalition here. So the dashboard is really handy. It's got all the information you need on it, and that's where you would place all your units and find out what's coming up and what you're doing next. All the information you need. They start with 31 IPPs. That's not too bad. Their cyber warfare is 3, so that's 3 things that they can do for cyber warfare, and there's 5 different things in cyber warfare that they can do, but they also have an ability later to expand that with technology. We'll take a look at that in a bit. So their special ability is called Fanatic Defense. So all of their infantry have a +1 defense in starting territories. So that's just the yellow territories, right? Not if you were to take over, say, a Caliphate territory. They wouldn't defend like that. There is one thing about that, though. So I showed you where Korea was up there, right? So there's the demilitarized zone between North and South Korea. There's also a bunch of units here. You've seen them in the blow-up box as well. Now, when you try to cross that line there, there's a +2 on defense for the units on defense in the first round. That's not going to stack with the Fanatic defense of the Pacific Coalition. So in the first round, they'll just get that +2. And then in the rounds after that, if there's any infantry left, then they'll just get +1. But you won't get +3 in that first round. Just like in 36, that kind of thing does not stack. So as far as your strategic movement in this game, it's what you're used to thinking of as non-combat movement. In this game, it's called strategic movement. And there's 3 different ways. There's rail, there's sea, and there's airlift. The strategic rail, they can move 2 units, 6 territories each. There's no rail lines on the board. It's just assumed that there's railways all over the world by this time. And so as long as your territory is adjacent to the next one, then there's a rail line there, and you can use it as long as you or someone in your faction owns both of those territories. So you could move 6 territories if you had 6 adjacent territories in a row, right? And you could do that with 2 units. At sea lift, now that's from port to port. They can move 1 unit 6 territories, 6 sea zones from one port to another port. And of course, you have to make sure that there's nobody in between, right? You can't just sail through like there's nothing there, except if, of course, it's an attack submarine and it's on silent running. A silent running submarine does not stop you from going through, or if there are ships from your faction in a zone with that attack submarine, then that sub's not going to stop you from using that sea lift going from one place to another. Now, the missile arsenal, you don't have a whole lot here. Looks like I'm missing a chip on that one. Oh, here it is. So you have 6 cruise missiles, 2 nuclear cruise missiles, and 2 submarine-launched ballistic missiles. You start the game with 1 ballistic missile submarine. And it's important how many there are on the board, because once those things shoot ballistic missile once, then they're gone. You're limited in how many of those that you have, right? And they're lucky enough to have 2 of them, and that's good because not everybody in this game has those, right? That's what they have. Now the next thing is the technology that they could get. So there 5 of them are shared, like they're the same as the US, NATO, Russia, and China. They're the same, the first 5 of them. And the last one they have in common with NATO as well. That doesn't mean they share them. That just means they have access to the same ones. So your hypersonic cruise missile means that your cruise missiles, they will cost an extra IPP, like they'll cost 4, but they'll attack at 5 instead of 3, and they'll have a target selection of 1 or 2 against land or sea units, so that's pretty handy. And then your ABM is your anti-ballistic missile. That just means that in your starting territories, not in territories you take over, but just your starting territories, you could defend, like you could roll the dice to try to shoot down that missile. Otherwise, if you don't have that, then a nuclear missile is going to hit your territory. There's no stopping it, right? So that's the only thing that could possibly stop it. Improved drones, that means your drones are going to go 4 spaces instead of 2. Your next generation fighter, that means that your fighters, instead of attacking and defending and costing 6, it will be attack and defend at 8, instead of costing 12, they'll cost 14. So for 2 extra IPP, they will attack and defend at +2, so that's pretty handy. And then your next generation main battle tank down there, that is, they will attack and defend at 8, and they will cost 8 instead of attacking and defending at 6 and costing 6. That's what I was thinking of with the fighter. Anyway, and the last one is improved cyber warfare. What that means is that your cyber warfare here will go up by 3. So you'll have 6 for the rest of the game instead of 3. And that's a pretty big deal, because there's 5 different things that you will be able to do with your cyber warfare points. And that's going to help your side to victory. So anyway, that's about all there is to say about the Pacific Coalition faction. Better defenders, that's their special ability. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. So, take care, everyone. General Hand Grenade out.